Welcome everyone to another Ryan Games SSD tutorial. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Cyclone, and let's take a look at the fitting. So in the top I've got 6 Republic Fleet missile rapid missile launchers, and the prices on these aren't that expensive, to be honest. I mean, if you're running SSD already in your CNI, when you switch over to the Cyclone, you're just adding one more, so it's really not that much more expensive. I got my Cyclone for about 315 mil on the open market. If you have a corp mate that can build it for you, I'm sure it'll be lower. But these go for about, look, 19 mil. I think I got mine for 24 or something. So I mean, the prices fluctuate, but I don't think it's that expensive. And then in the mids, I've got Upir medium energy Nosferatus, and these go for about 2 mil. Again, if you're running SSD already, you probably already have these. This was the big expense. I got a Mark 7 Hammerhead. This was like 24 mil. Yeah, 26 mil. If you place a buy order, you can probably get one for a little bit less, but 24 mil for that. And then I've got 2 Republic Fleet medium shield boosters. Those go for about 25 mil each. And then I got a Posse adaptive invulnerability field. I think that's about 10 mil. I'll pull it up when we jump here. Yeah, about 10 mil. And that gives some resistance. And then I've got a Republic Fleet ballistic control system. This just increases their overall DPS output. And then I've got my trusty smuggler medium afterburner. That's 37,000 S, so not that much. I don't think I checked out how much this cost. 11 mil. Again, I had most of this fitting from my CNI, and I just moved it over. Rigs, I went with 2 damage mods, Warhead Califaction Catalyst. These go for about 15 million each. And then 1 bay loading accelerator, about 3 mil, so not that much. And then I went with 1 capacitor multiplier to increase the overall cap, and then 2 recharge capacitors control circuits. So that's the overall fitting, and it's been working pretty well for me. My skills when I first got the Cyclone were like pretty bad, to be honest. Let me go ahead and show you my skills. Obviously I had Battlecruiser Command at 4 because we got the skill book, and that's all I had when I first got this ship, and I took it out, and it was still better than my CNI. So since then I've added some of these other skills. Obviously I'm going to try to get all these up to 4. The one I would really suggest is Battlecruiser Engineering, because that gives you increased capacitor, and that helps with your capacitor overall. And then Advanced gives you increased capacitor. There was one that I thought gave you capacitor recharge. I guess not. Well, regardless, the capacitor, that's what increases. Like when I first started, my capacitor was only like 2 minutes or something like that, but now it's stable, and that's strictly because of that Battlecruiser Engineering skill. So my overall DPS is 550 and 525 just with my missiles. So overall, does pretty good. It's the same strategy that I use with my CNI when I run SSD. I just warp into the first pocket, tank everything, and then on the 4th wave, when there's the elites, I align towards a station, and then I take out the elites, and then once all the elites are dead, I basically just go to loot everything and tank the rest. Same thing with the second pocket. I warp, well, not the same, but I warp in at 50, let everything come to me, I kill off the elites, and then once the elites are done, I loot everything while I'm killing off the rest of the wave, and then I manage my cap at the end of the wave before the next one spawns, and that's pretty much it. And this Cyclone can clear the first wave in about 15 minutes, and the second, not the first wave, but the first pocket in 15 minutes, and the second pocket in 30 minutes. So it's a lot faster, and I never have to warp out with this. The first time I did it, I did have to warp out, and I think that's because of my capacitor. So if you get that battle cruiser engineering skill up and your capacitor is more stable, I haven't had to warp out since my cap's been stable. Actually, even before that. Like, I think I was up at like 12 minutes for my capacitor, and around that stage, I was fine. But you'll see here how I do it. The DPS output is just off the charts. It's so much better than the CNI. And if you have the ISK, I would suggest getting this. If you're not a drone, I mean, that's where I'm going, is to drones. But if you're not a missile boat and you're a drone boat, getting the Prophecy, I know a guy in my corp runs T10s solo all the time by himself in the Prophecy. So after I get my missile skill to level 5, I've got my advanced missile torpedo upgrade to go into 5. Once I get that to 5 and I get my expert skill up to maybe 3 or 4, I'm going to cross train into drones so that I can get a Prophecy, because with this I don't feel confident to go and run a T8 or a T10 yet. Actually, I've never run anything except SSD, except in our fleets. And so with the Prophecy, if I can run T8s and T10s solo without any issues with tanking, I can make a lot more ISK. So that's what I'm going to cross-train into. And we'll see what the nerf does in October. I think it's in October, to missiles and to drones, and see if that affects the overall gameplay style for either one of us, me or the guy that flies the Prophecy. So we're at the first pocket here. So we're going to just warp directly in, and we're going to turn on that adaptive invulnerability field, and the first 3 waves here are super simple. I don't even think there's an elite in any of these waves. So I've got my overview set up, and we're good to go. Really, I could just kill all these in any order, but I still take out smallest to largest, just out of habit, I guess. And look at that, 1 shot the Frigg, and then I think I 2 shot the destroyers. And then I pop my ballistic control system to take out the cruisers. And these, I mean, it's not even needed really, but I figure why not use the extra DPS and just yeah, make use of what we got on our ship here. But yeah, this section takes about 15 minutes, and the last wave is what takes longer. I think it's primarily because of the Thorax, which is the elite. that does most of the damage. So we're on our second wave now. And I didn't check, but the range on this is also better than the CNI. It is at 26, I believe. Let's pull it up. 26.81. So it'll hit at like 29 if they're approaching me. That's just what I've noticed. And yeah, so the range is increased, which is a blessing, really, because the Celestis, when it's an elite, it stays at like 25 range, and so we don't have any problems hitting that. I left my shield booster going, but I probably didn't need to, so my cap's a little bit low compared to what it normally would be if I wasn't not paying attention. So this is the third wave. Again, it's not going to be a problem. Well, none of the waves are really going to be a problem, but the next wave is the one we have to be a little bit more careful about. So there is a station in this system, and when we get down to the last ship, I'll align towards the station, and before the last wave spawns. So I'm just pulling up the station tab, and I click on the station and hit approach, and that will align us towards the station. And let's go back to our mission tab. And as you can see, the cap is pretty high, so we're in a good position here. Alright, so I always just lock the elites. And again, I usually kill the smallest ship first, but since we got the thorax right off the bat, we'll just go ahead and knock out the thorax. So there's 4 elites. Forgot to put my shield boosters on. Once we take out the thorax, that does the most damage, and then we'll go for the smaller ships before going for that Celestis. And we'll pop the ballistic control system now. Now I align for 2 reasons. One, it kind of keeps the ship moving, so it's not a sitting stationary target. It also will keep some of the other ships out of range, but actually everything's in range right now, so really we could just orbit the thorax, but I just align out because if we do get into trouble, we can just warp out. So the thorax is down. Let's loot it. Now the frigate's down, and then the destroyer. As you can see, our cap is not great. What I'll do here is I'll manage it manually. I'm going to stop it and put it on this closer thorax. I'm going to stop one of our shield boosters, and we're pretty much done with this wave. Once we kill this elite, that's like the last real threat to us. And then we'll just start now. We'll start slow boating over to this other wreck. And we'll pop the afterburner. Because really we're in no danger anymore. These regular frigates and cruisers really don't do any significant damage. Now the reason I don't use a micro warp drive on this bad boy is because the micro warp drive increases our signature radius, which means we'll take more damage from the different types of ships. It makes us a bigger target, so that's why I don't use a micro warp drive. So we're at 17 minutes in the recording. I didn't check what time we started this, but just from past experience, I know it takes about 15 minutes. And I don't know if that's including like looting everything. Because we still have to go to that cruiser wreck that's 28 away, and then we have to slow boat over to the cache container. But it's pretty much done now. So if you want, you can just fast forward to the next part, where we go into the next wave, because or maybe I'll cut the video and I'll film slow boating over, and then I'll cut into the next wave. That way you don't have to watch me warp around. Honestly, that takes a lot of time. There's a lot of warping around with this particular encounter. I've heard that there are other storylines where it's just one pocket. I think like Spark Rebellion is only one pocket, but there is a warp disruptor on that one, so I personally haven't tried it yet. But I'm almost out of my super soft drink, which is the name of this storyline mission. And once I'm done with that, I'm gonna have a go at some of the other ones, because for me, I think it's priced too high right now at 12 mil, and you only get 25 mil. I mean, it's still good, I guess, but I'd rather just finish off the missions that I have. So yeah, we just have to go catch this up. You know what? I'm just gonna cut it here, and then on the next wave we'll be back. All right, we're about to get into the system for the second pocket of super soft drink, and as you can see from the timestamp, it's been about 20 minutes since the last part, and literally all I've done is warp from one point to another point, to the station to turn it in, and then to the next one. I haven't taken a break or anything, so It takes longer to warp around sometimes than to clear out the actual anomalies. So we're not going to warp directly in here. We're going to warp in at 50. Turn on our adaptive invulnerability field
warp drive
and wish for the best. So there are only 3 waves on this part, and it's 13:10. So we'll see what time we finish. I think we should finish around 13:40, about that time. I consider it pretty much finished once everything's cleared out. But what I mean is, once I kill all the elites in the last wave, I consider it pretty much, we're just wrapping up. Is there a station in here? There is. So we will align towards that station. I'm just trying to find all the elites. It looks like there's only 1 in this wave, unless oh no, I missed 1. 2 elites. So yeah, not too bad. So we should be able to get these guys. They're in range almost. Now I could start killing the Corelli Celestis, but I think I'm just going to take out these smaller ships first. That way we don't get webbed. And since it automatically targeted the destroyer, I'm just going to take out the destroyer first. And if you're wondering what's going on with my overview here on the side, if you go in here and go to advanced settings, display filter tag, you can actually filter by like the different overview settings that you have, which I find pretty useful. So I haven't been watching my cap very well here. We're definitely going to need to rebuild cap before the next wave, and to do that I'll probably just orbit that thorax on the end there. The one shield booster off, and one should be good for right now. And this wave's pretty much done. We just need to clean it up. was wondering why it was taking so long, and I hadn't put my speed up to 100. I was at like 20 kilometers per second or something like that. And again, I'm just going to line to the station for the new wave. And let's get all the elites. It would be nice if I had my targeting skills up a bit more, because then I could target one more. That would be nice, but I don't feel like training it over my missile skills. I didn't show you my missile skills, so I probably should show you that. They're just all 4s for my medium missiles, basically. Let's pull it up real quick. So medium missile 4 and medium missile upgrades at 4. So really not too much to show there. I'm gonna kill the frigate first, because it looks like it'll get in range before the thorax. Oh well, we just hit the thorax, so oh well, it's okay. I'm going to increase our speed to full throttle, or full thrusters I should say. As you can see, our corp chat isn't too politically correct. Yeah, our corp's doing well. We've got, let me just pull up, 131 members and 40 are online. Well, 39 are online right now. And we usually always have about 30 online. Sometimes I'll wake up at like 3 in the morning and there will only be like 20 online. During US time zone, we're pretty much always above 30. So we're pretty much almost done with this wave. I think we've killed all the elites except this last one. So I'm just going to start approaching this other one, this other wreck here, and then yeah, that's all the elites. Now we'll just sit back and clear this wave. And try to pick up our loot. and pray that we get an aura warp stabilizer. I just sold one of those for 16 mil, so that's one of the better drops that you can get from these. They only drop from frigates though, elite frigates. Something else that I get that's pretty good recently are interruptive, or something like that, warp webs, not warp disruptors, but webs. Those sell for like 7 mil. Let's see if I got anything in here. Oh, we already got one. So we've already made, we're gonna make 25 mil off the story mission, plus 16 mil off that, so that's pretty good in my estimation. As you can see, I don't pop that ballistic control system 100% of the time. Like, it's not always either up or on recharge, so if you're more efficient, you might get you might clear out these waves faster. Was this the second wave or the first wave? I think it's the second wave. Yeah, it's definitely the second wave. Oh, I had my afterburner running and we were just sitting still. So, and our cap is still relatively high, so you can see that we've been doing pretty well, I'd say. Considering I haven't been 100% like optimized in my overall approach, but we're still doing well. I should probably have waited to pop the ballistic control system to the next wave, but oh well. Alright, let's align to that station. Pull up our targeting systems here. I'm going to take out a bunch of these frigates before I start working on our elites. Just because they drop in like 1 or 2 shots. I should not have been aligning so fast. I forgot to set my ship to go a little bit slower. But it might have worked out even better because everything would be on top of us right now if I hadn't set it to to a higher speed like that. And now that they're closing in, we should probably increase our speed. And so we'll get this mollusk down, and then we'll go for this destroyer, and then we'll go for the thorax. Actually, I'll probably take out this frigate first before I go for the thorax. And actually, I didn't see this destroyer, so we'll take out the destroyer and then the thorax. Actually, we might take out the destroyer, then the frigate, and then the thorax. Getting the thorax down would be good though, because it pumps out a lot of damage. But the nice thing is we can put our NOS on the thorax since it's so close, and that should give us a cap. Oh, there's my little niece. And I'm not even gonna line. We seem to be tanking pretty well here. And I think that's, oh no, I think we have one more thorax. So I better be a little bit careful. Because if we get both those thoraxes coming down on us, we might be in a world of hurt. So yeah, this is the last elite of the second pocket. And look, we haven't dropped past like 50% shield, which is what I consider pretty good. I don't know if we've even dropped past like 75% shield. But definitely kiting at the beginning of the wave is definitely helpful to keep everything in range. But now we're pretty much just cleaning up. I mean, it's pretty impressive when you consider we have 14 ships firing down on us and they're really not doing that much damage. I mean, one shield booster's taking it all. A difference that I find with this ship versus my CNI is with the Caracal Navy issue, I felt like I had to warp out a lot. Or at least like I was in trouble where I could potentially have to warp out. Whereas with the Cyclone, as you can see, we never even got close to warping out. So if you're debating whether you should get a Cyclone, I would say get one. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good ship. And if you can't afford it, then, well, you can't buy one anyway. But the way I got mine for so cheap was I went to Jita, and I typed in chat, like, want to buy Cyclone for 300 mil. And a few people like responded to me and said, "Oh, I'll sell it for 320," and then one guy was like, "I'll sell it to you for 315," and I wasn't gonna do it. I was gonna wait till I could get to 300, but I figured, do I really want to wait a week until prices drop, or do I just want to get it now? And so I decided to just bite the bullet and get it, and it was it was tougher at the beginning when my battle cruiser skills were lower, but since I got everything up to like 4s and 3s, it's been just as easy as what you've seen here. One thing I have not tried yet, though, in my Cyclone is the Amar Tier 7 missions, where you have that Harbinger. I don't know if I can tank that Harbinger or if I still need to kite it. So that'll be something that maybe I'll record and share when I finally get one. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and look at our encounters and see if I have anything that's useful. I find that I only get the encounters I need, which are the ones without the check marks, or the really expensive, like tier 7s that are like, 4.5 mil. I only get those like super late at night when I'm ready to go to sleep, so that's kind of crappy, but it is what it is. Alright, so now we're pretty much, well, we are done. We just need to collect the this last wreck, and then I'll look at my loot, see if we got anything good except for that one aura warp stab. We already know that's good. Yeah, I think that's all that we got that was really worth anything. Yeah, that's it. I don't think this is worth anything. Nope. Yeah, just this guy. 12 mil, but I know I can sell it for 16 mil in Amar, so that's what I'll do. And then I also wanted to show you guys the prophecy build that I'm going to be working towards. It's about like 1.5 bill, and right now I've got about a third of that. So let me pull up my fittings real quick and show you this build. Alright, so in the top we got medium rapid fire. Sorry, I'm butchering the name. Medium rapid missile launchers. So I would probably just use my Republic fleet ones, so that won't cost me anything. In the mids, I already have these, so that's not going to cost me anything. And then everything else I'm going to have to buy. So an afterburner, I believe. Yeah, that's 44 mil. Oh no. I won't go through all the pricing, but just suffice it to say that this is an expensive build. So a medium armor rep, an adaptive armor hardener, a drone damage control amplifier, and then a another drone damage amplifier. And I believe he said that he gets about 66 kilometers of range, which is pretty good. The warp core optimizer, I was told that it was a waste of 200 mil. They should have just got another capacitor control circuit. So if you're looking to follow this build, I would get 2 capacitor control circuits and then 1 semiconductor control cell, and then the drone rigs. So yeah, this is the build that I would probably be working towards if I was to get into a prophecy. But first I have to get all my drone skills up. So that's it for SSD and a Cyclone. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. And if you have any requests or any comments, just let me know. Alright? Ryan signing out.
Warp drive active.